PMacMovies back for the fans! Only the fans enjoy these PMacMovies reviews videos. And this one's for the fans. I do appreciate the people who do leave feedback on these reviews videos. There's not too many at this point. And it's not, I can't control what people do, but I can focus on what I'm going to do, and it's I feel like I still kind of enjoy making these, which is why I make them. Otherwise I wouldn't, but my motivation to continue doing it, I don't know. I guess, maybe I'll feel, I feel one way today, maybe I'll feel different next week or the week, it just depends how I feel if I'm going to make them, but I don't feel super motivated because it just doesn't seem like, and I think people watch them, but it's like I put all this time into making these videos and people can't even click the like thing. Like, that's your choice, but I have to make my choices accordingly also. But I do appreciate the people who do hit the thumbs up and comment. You guys kind of keep things going. I have a nice large stack, pretty large for movies. I've only watched these over like the last week or so because I had last week off and I watched one this morning. So I got a pretty decent stack for just having made a reviews video pretty recently. But before we get into these goodies, I got some coffee ready to be brewed over here, so let's kick back, relax, calm down. We're not in a race. I watch some of these videos, like I'll kind of look around these videos, people do the cuts, and it's like, and then there's like all this stuff going on, and it's like one person made this, like how did they do all that? And then, I don't know, it's too much for me, and like I don't like it, like all the, they're talking about something, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and they try to always be like real clever and cutesy, funny. It's like, this is just too much. This is just too much. So let's just kick back. We're going to start the coffee. And I got, I don't have the Guatemalan. I haven't been drinking much coffee lately, by the way. I have the organic Colombian coffee here. Organic Colombian. You can get this from Walmart. Whole bean. So the coffee's brewing, and we're gonna start diving into these movies. And there's some fun ones in here. Is there any great PMac classics? I don't. There's some fun ones in here though. There's some good ones. Let's take a look first at one I just finished watching. And this is at Walmart for $13. The Vestrons are pretty affordable. So this is the Vestron for the Wraith. And, when they released the other two there that they released not that long ago, Shivers and Little Monsters, they changed to like that reduced price point. And, Walmart would carry them, and they come with a digital copy. So they've kind of, they haven't like cheapened the product per se. I don't think this still, this has a lot of special features on it. They didn't cheapen the product. The slipcover still seems to be the same. The cases have always been the crappy eco cases. But I think they're probably going more towards, when they were releasing these and they were $25, $30, you're just going to get the people who are really into movies, who are collectors and stuff, buying them. So they probably didn't really, they kind of changed how they did it. They want to get a bigger audience buying these, so they reduced the price. They're releasing maybe a little bit more mainstreamy type of movies. This is a movie that, it's a fun movie. Little Monsters seemed like maybe, I didn't know much about it, but more of a mainstreamy movie. Shivers, and Arrowhead released that. I don't know that it's super mainstreamy, but it is a Cronenberg. But, this is a movie that, especially if you were born in the 80s, 70s, if you have that, like, 80s nostalgia, I feel like it's going to be hard to not like this movie. for several reasons. First, the music. It's got such a nice, you know, that nice 80s music. You just don't hear it anymore in movies. Like upbeat, fun music. It's just nice, and it makes you feel for a little while like you're taken back to the 80s. It also the cast is pretty solid. It's got Charlie Sheen in it. It's got Sherilyn Fenn, who looks great from Twin Peaks. Randy Quaid, Nick Cassavetes. I don't really know. He's the villain in this. I don't really know what else he's in. But the movie's just a really fun movie. Like, it doesn't, you know, it's serious, but at the same time, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So you can really kind of kick back, relax, you know, pop some popcorn and enjoy the ride here. It's a really fun movie. You know, like I said, the slipcover, I guess this is number 20 from the Vestron line. So it's basically, you know, I don't want to get too much into the plot, but there's not really, you basically just read the back, and that kind of even maybe gives too much away. There's kind of like this little gang group led by Nick Cassavetes' character, and he's basically an a-hole, and he's obsessed with this girl, Sherilyn Fenn, who wants nothing to do with him. But what's Nick Cassavetes' character called? Packard. Packard is like, he just kind of controls people through threat of violence. And when I was watching this, I was kind of, I felt like his character kind of represents the big G, so to speak. I'm not going to spell it out for you, but the big G kind of represents the big G. Oh, you're not going to do this? You don't like this? Well, here's what we're going to do about it, boy. But I really enjoyed this movie. I do recommend it if you like, you know, 80s kind of stuff. Kind of throwback. It's in a horror line. It's not like a scary movie or anything. But I do think it's really a great addition to the Vestron line. And I thought the picture quality and everything was fine. Nothing, you know, nothing great, but it was fine. The coffee is ready, but we're going to let that drip a little bit there, and then I'm going to put some sugar in there and enjoy. A couple newish movies here that I got from Redbox. We got Daisy Ridley and that dude, the new Spider-Man and Chaos Walking, which got poor reviews. Lionsgate put this out. This is actually kind of a fun little movie. You know, it's weird how I remember when I first started collecting movies and got into movies, I'd be like, you know, I'd be totally into like the Rotten Tomatoes score, the reviewers, this and that. And I'm totally not like that anymore. Like, I think Chaos Walking might have only gotten like 20-something% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. But it's a fun movie, and it's not a great movie. This also has what's his face in it. I really like the actor, but man, I just can't remember stuff. Let me pull this up. The guy who plays Hannibal in the Hannibal TV show. His name just slips my mind for some reason. Must be because I haven't had my coffee yet. That's what people say, you know. Mads Mikkelsen. Nick Jonas is his son in this. So enjoyable movie. I'm not really going to go into the plot. Basically, it's set on a different world where for the men, it's like they can hear each other's thinking, but with the women that did not happen, and something happened with the women. There was something that actually wasn't explained now that I think about it. I mean, I wouldn't say this is like a great movie, but again, it's another fun popcorn movie. And I feel like I tend to like those more than some artsy-fartsy crap. Oh, the acting was just brilliant. I want entertainment. I want ideas. I want, you know, it's doing something different. people can hear each other's thoughts, and then there's no females, and then Daisy Ridley's character crashes onto the world, and all hell breaks loose, baby. So, you know, the premise I thought was pretty good. Definitely a very nice cast. I didn't even realize Mads Mikkelsen was in it. He's actually one of my favorite actors. He can play like a good guy role or a bad guy role pretty good. He's pretty good. Not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. So we got some coffee over here. And then we are going to take a look at a film. Because if I call a movie a film, I can be taken seriously as a reviewer. This next film stars Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington. I'm going to have to pull this movie up again because I just don't remember the names of these people. I don't worship actors. Jared Leto and Rami Malek. So really the two main characters in this are Denzel Washington and Rami Malek. And I don't really want to touch this too much because this is like a nasty, gross Redbox case. Whoever like rented this from Redbox, I don't know what they did with the case, but it's freaking disgusting. There's little things. And then I'm going to be touching my food. Oh, germs! Oh, no! I'll tell you what, I haven't been afraid of germs or viruses or bacteria in years and years and years and years. I just said, you know, this is ridiculous. And since March of last year, I've lived, other than when I've been forced to put something over my face, I've been living the exact same way, including touching nasty stuff like that, touching my face all over. And I just kind of touched my mouth a little bit, actually. You know how many times I've gotten sick over the past year and a half? 0 times. Well, it's just your genetics or your... Come on. Come on. So we're going to put some sugar in this coffee. In this Colombian coffee. Just the perfect amount. Do you dare me to lick this case? No, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't get sick, though, even if I did. I guarantee it, I would not get sick. It would probably make me closer to Superman. Little Things is another movie that tries to be a little unique, a little twist on it. I remember seeing the advertisements, the trailer or whatever for it, and it looked like a very, like, Jared Leto's character seemed very intriguing, and it looked like a very good movie. And I would have to watch the trailer again, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was more of like a take a look at the psychological components of it with the cops, with the pigs. It had a feel of kind of like the movie Seven, with some of the psychological components to it. So that I guess that's kind of what I would compare it to. I didn't feel very satisfied with the resolution of the movie, and so I thought it was just kind of okay. So I would give Little Things a 3 out of 5. It was okay. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Chaos Walking and The Wraith, I would give both of those a 3.5. I enjoyed both of those movies. Up next, we have a movie that, unfortunately, I bought the Blu-ray for $9, and then I was able to get the 4K for $12, and I got it, and then I watched my Blu-ray, and I decided, like, I don't really like this movie that much. It's okay, but it's not really, I guess I'll probably keep it, maybe, but I'll sell, I'll look to sell either the Blu-ray or the 4K. I don't know. I haven't really thought it through too much. It was kind of like a quirky movie. It's this kid in Nazi Germany, and it's kind of a quirky movie, but it goes into some really, like, deep, dark subjects, but it's, like, quirky about it, so it's kind of, you know, it's a dark comedy, and it's quirky, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, and, you know, with, to me, the focus I would take is look at the brainwashing that happens on this kid in Nazi Germany, and people would be, like, judgmental of that while being just as brainwashed as the kid in this movie. Like, this movie shows, like, the obvious brainwashing of a person, and you have so much of that nowadays. You have so much brainwashing nowadays. People just, if people can't see it, they can't see it. So to them, they're not brainwashed. They can't see it. So that movie is pretty much kind of in a way telling the audience how they are, but making fun of this kid in a way because we have this, you know, very negative outlook on that particular regime. But then we have something here that might be just as bad or worse, but most people don't see it. How dare you? We're free in this country. Just because you're told that you're free doesn't make you free. You have to actually be free. Just because I'm free to do things like buy Colombian coffee and drink it during a video, there's a lot of things that I wish I could do that I'm not allowed to do, or things that I wish I could do and not have to give somebody money for it, or, you know, things like that. Like when you drive on the roadways and you have to pay to get, you know, to certain roads and stuff, it's like, we just accept all that stuff. Why should you have to pay to use the freaking road to travel? It doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. Just stop. Just stop. Think first before you get angry at the person speaking. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we got a Criterion Collection. Oh, it's a Criterion. Oh, I'm artistic. I'm a reviewer. Blow Up. This isn't that good of a movie. It's actually really, really boring. And I was like, first of all, it's from 1966, directed by Michelangelo Antonioni. And it's starring David Hemmings, who I like. He's in one of my favorite movies, Deep Red, David Hemmings. So I was excited about this movie. And it's just, it's like the opposite of a popcorn movie. It's like a movie where you're like, I'm really bored. This is trying to, like, illustrate something, and it's not even really illustrating something that's super profound. And I did look into this movie a little bit afterwards to kind of like, I know it's kind of like, you know, all metaphors and it's trying to point things out. But it just wasn't something that had any real, like, depth or meaning to me. So I didn't like it. And I'll actually look to sell this one. There's really no reason to keep that in the collection. But there is a reason to drink some coffee. This is probably going to be my only coffee this week, so I have to really cherish this. We have a Dollar Tree movie called Time Crimes. This is a Spanish movie, and it looks like it got very good reviews. It's an absolutely fantastic, a perfect film. One of the best time travel movies of all time. An off-the-rails thrill ride. A temporal chess game with nudity, voyeurism, and violence. I'll tell you, I had high expectations for this movie because of the positive reviews. It's from 2008, it's 92 minutes. I didn't care for it that much. I kind of saw what it was doing pretty early, and then, you know, I watched it, but there was a few twists and turns that were kind of surprising or whatever, but it was like once you kind of figure out what's going on, it's like, I don't know. It wasn't really that great. I don't know. You know, watch it once, excuse me. I just ate and I'm drinking coffee. Let me burp a little bit. Not that great. I wouldn't recommend that one. Maybe I don't know, 2.5 out of 5. Blow Up is like a 2 out of 5. I didn't care for that at all. Then we have a movie called Papillon, which I'm sure you folks have heard of, starring Dustin Hoffman. I really like Dustin Hoffman's back from like the 70s and stuff like that. I like his movies. Steve McQueen I've never really gotten into too much. I've only seen a few of his movies. This is a really so it's like they're on like a prison island. They're going to a prison island. Movies that are just like dark and depressing and just, okay, there's a little bit of good and then bad. You're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen to the character. I don't know. I think years ago maybe I would have liked it more. I was more into watching like a good movie, like a good acting, cinematography put together well. Now I want to be entertained. I want some different ideas thrown at me. I want it to get me thinking. That movie's just depressing, and it kind of pissed me off with the way the characters are treated and things like that. So it's kind of just a depressing. And I like a lot of prison movies, but it wasn't like a very hopeful prison movie. I did like, maybe the last 15 minutes or half hour or so was a little bit more upbeat, I felt like. Maybe upbeat's not the right word. Coffee! If you don't know what to say, just shout out, coffee! Coffee! You're in like an awkward moment with somebody. Maybe you're on like a date or something, and it's just like you don't know what to say. Coffee? I don't know. I just came up with that. Up next, we have an old one from Otto Preminger called Bunny Lake is Missing, put out by powerhousefilms.co.uk. From 1965, 107 minutes. 4K restoration. I think for its time, this was probably a great movie. It's got some... So basically, the movie doesn't show you this woman's little girl, Bunny Lake. You're only... At the beginning, right away, it doesn't show you her. So you're wondering if this person is even real. Is this woman nuts? What the hell's going on here? Her daughter's missing, but you've never actually seen her. So it makes you question whether this woman's a Looney Tune coffee, or what the heck's going on here? And I was into it. I was into the movie. Really makes you think, like, what the heck's going on here? And the resolution of it, I feel like, without giving anything away, I feel like this type of movie back then probably wasn't done maybe ever or very often. But nowadays, there's just been so many like this that if I watch this movie before I've watched all those other movies that are similar, I would think this is a really great, holy crap, blow my mind movie. But if I've seen, 10 similar movies to this, now it's like, this is just another one. So, it really depends. If you watch this movie back in like 1965, back in the 60s or whatever, this thing might really blow your mind. But now it's like it's just been done so many times. So, I did enjoy it though. I thought it was a good movie. I would give it a 3.5. Papillon, I think it's a good movie, but it's too dark and depressing. 3 out of 5. I got this 3-pack, and we're only going to be focusing on one movie out of this 3-pack, which actually, I looked into this. There are some better versions of Barefoot in the Park and Love Story, I believe I read. So this has like the older Blu-rays of those. However, To Catch a Thief in this set is the old Blu-ray, which is actually better than the new Blu-ray. Apparently they really screwed up. Paramount really screwed up the more recent release To Catch a Thief Blu-ray. So actually, if you want To Catch a Thief, which is the movie I'm going to be talking about, I don't know if I made that clear already. To Catch a Thief starring Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. If you want the best version, apparently it is this To Catch a Thief Blu-ray, even though it is the original Blu-ray. How many times are you going to say that, PMac? What? As many as I feel like. It's interesting, like, they make these little hubs sometimes on these so cheap that the disc doesn't even, like, click onto the hub. So it's just going to keep, like, falling off like this one does. But, oh well. That's the way it is. They cheap out. I really enjoyed To Catch a Thief here, starring, I already said who it's starring. It's a really entertaining, fun movie. You know, you're kind of figuring out. So basically, Cary Grant plays an individual who's like a reformed cat burglar. And basically they think that he is back in action stealing things. And he's saying, I didn't do it. And he is trying to catch who is doing it to clear his name. And in doing so, he meets Grace Kelly's character. Very, very attractive. Very nice. And I was just really entertained throughout the movie. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun one. It's light, but it's fun, and it's enough seriousness, and it's just a good time. It's a suspense-filled thriller with some romance, and I would give To Catch a Thief a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed that one. And that's a really good set because you get the 3 movies, and you get the digital code. So as long as, apparently, if you don't need the absolute best Blu-ray of Barefoot in the Park and Love Story, like I said, I read there's a better version of both of those. If you don't need the very best one, which I do not, get that Blu-ray, and it's affordable, and you get a digital code for all 3 movies. Up next, coffee! We got MI5 starring Jon Snow himself, Kit Harington. Now, after watching this movie is actually not just I guess it probably, you could consider it a standalone movie, but apparently there's actually a TV show that has this main character, Harry Pierce, played by Peter Firth. There's a British TV show, and it's his character. He's one of the main characters in this movie. It's kind of like a Mission Impossible type of thing, like a Mission Impossible light type of thing. And I was entertained by it. I thought it was a good movie, had some nice twists and turns, and everybody does a good job with it. Basically just a fun kind of action thriller type of thing. Not like unique or anything like that, but it's a fun one, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I like this one. I don't know if I can show the back of this one. It is Perversion Story. It's not like a porno or anything, so don't get that idea. It's and I read that it's like a giallo. It's not a giallo. It's like an Italian, like a mystery movie, but it's set in like San Francisco. And I thought it was pretty unique. I like the actor in this, who plays the character, Dr. George DeMarie. I believe he is the same actor as a giallo. I won't say another giallo because this isn't really a giallo. A giallo, and Short Night of the Glass Dolls or something like that. One of my favorites, actually. And I believe it's the same guy in this. Is it Gene Sorel? Maybe. I can't remember. He's pretty good, though. But it's really a mystery movie. The doctor's wife dies, but then there's like this stripper who looks exactly like his wife. What's going on here? What's going on? And then it's just, and he does have a girlfriend too. So he has a wife, but they don't get along, and then a girlfriend, and then he goes off with the girlfriend, the wife dies, and the murder ends up getting pinned on him, and then what's going on with this woman that looks exactly... So he meets this stripper, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. 4 out of 5, baby. 4 out of 5. Coffee! Am I wearing out the coffee thing? Maybe. Probably still do it, though. Uh-oh, we're under 20% on the battery. Hopefully this phone doesn't die. Up next, we have The Visitor, which it talks about... let me give you the details. 108 minutes from 1978. This is kind of a fun one. So... Don't think that this is a good movie, but I enjoyed it, and I'm trying to remember. It's kind of crazy, kooky, crazy. Sam Peckinpah is in the movie briefly. It says it's a bizarre mishmash of close encounters of the third kind in 70s possession movies, such as The Exorcist and The Omen. Starring Lance Henriksen. Franco Nero's in this very briefly. John Huston. Mel Ferrer. Shelley Winters. What do I want to say about this movie? I'll say this. It's weird. It's kooky. It's unique. It's entertaining. I feel like ideas presented in this movie could have led to something great. But instead, it just led to something that was fun and kooky, and it didn't really do enough with it. And I got a great... This is the Arrow Video version. I got a great deal. It was £5. It was £5 back during one of the Arrow sales. And that was back when the exchange rate was better. The shipping fees were better. So I probably got this for like $6 or something like that. You know, $6 or $7. Beer me. It's a fun... I recommend it. There is a US version of this. I'm not sure if it's still in print. I definitely recommend this movie. It's like a mix of sci-fi and horror type of thing. And there's definitely these are like some other type of beings in this. I don't think that they're like aliens. I think they're more of like spiritual entities. But you have a figure that's almost like represents the good, or what you would see as God, and then a figure that's on like the evil, demonic side, or almost like a devil type of character. But it gives like a sci-fi spin to it. I really enjoyed it quite a bit, even though I thought it could have been a lot better. I think it really could have been something phenomenal, but it was good still. So I would say a 3.5 out of 5 for The Visitor. I still got a pretty big stack here. I might have to talk quicker, or not, maybe not. I'm probably not going to talk too much about the rest of these, I don't think. Up next is Who Saw Her Die, which is a... Now, how much of a giallo is this one? I'm trying to think back. George Lazenby is the main character. It is from the director, Aldo Lato, who did Short Night of Glass Dolls, which I mentioned earlier. And it relates this movie to Nicholas Roeg's Don't Look Now, which is starring Donald Sutherland. That one was kind of confusing to me. This one, I think I actually probably like this one a little bit better. So it's kind of a mystery of who is killing these little girls, and then there's some other people that get killed. But the main character, George Lazenby, his daughter gets murdered and he's trying to figure out what's going on here. And there is like kind of a conspiracy going on here. There's a group type of aspect, like with Short Night of Glass Dolls. Kind of a spoiler, but it's not. You know, maybe it is a spoiler. But it is it's another good one, and I don't know. I definitely wouldn't give this a 4.5 out of 5. I'm kind of split, like 3.5 or 4. I thought it was a pretty solid one. One that I didn't really like that much, They Might Be Giants. Of course, I do enjoy George C. Scott. And then Joanne Woodward, I don't know what else she's in. This is from 1971, 91 minutes, put out by Kino Lorber. This guy, he used to be a judge, retired judge, Justin Playfair. Like, he has become Sherlock Holmes. So, I believe it's after his wife passed away. And then this Dr. Mildred Watson comes over, and she's like psychiatrist or whatever. She's trying to help him, and she kind of gets into the whole Sherlock Holmes thing, and it was definitely unique and quirky, but it just wasn't really up my alley. I would say like a 3 out of 5. I like this one a lot. Tafin, starring Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan just looking badass in this, being badass. I really enjoyed this movie. And this girl, I liked, having like these actresses that I don't really know very well. Alison Doody, I guess, is the girl. But Pierce Brosnan's good in this. He's looking sharp. He's badass. It's from 1988, 96 minutes from Kino. I really enjoyed this one. It's pretty much like, and there's some elements to it with like, the town letting this corporation in to build this factory thing that's gonna pollute and just cause issues in the area, and they don't want it in there. So I like that kind of element to it also, but it's pretty much a straightforward kind of action movie, but it does have some romance, some drama. I really enjoyed this one. I'd give this a 4 out of 5. Pierce Brosnan, yes. I'm not a huge Pierce Brosnan guy, but he's younger, he's sharp, he's good in that. He's got charisma, baby. That's what I like. Jason Statham, he's got the charisma, the confidence. Vin Diesel, Vin Diesel's like a little guy. He's got the charisma and confidence, though. Up next, we have a movie called Switchblade Sisters from Jack Hill, the legendary director of Spider Baby, Coffee, Foxy Brown, and The Swinging Cheerleaders. Is The Swinging Cheerleaders another one that Arrow put out? I think that's one that I didn't get. That actually might be one that I get, because I thought this was a pretty fun movie. Basically, there's these kids that are not kids, but I don't know what they are, late teens or 20s, these gangs, and they're kind of running the show kind of thing, and there's some, this new girl here, new girl kind of jumps in and interrupts things, and like the main female gang leader is with the male one who kind of runs the show, and she gets jealous. They're friends, but she also gets jealous of this other girl because her boyfriend or whatever is liking this new girl more, and then there's just some chaos that breaks from all those things. Some violence. But it's kind of like a grindhousey kind of feel to it. But it is a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. 91 minutes from 1975. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. And that's about it for that one. This video's almost 40 minutes. We got to finish up. We got Slaughterhouse 5. Which Arrow only put out in the U.S., I do believe. This one I watched a little bit longer ago. It has it's time travel and alien abduction. It didn't really feel like it had a ton of the sci-fi element to it, which is more of what I was looking for. It was a lot of it's he's in. Was it World War? World War I or II? I can't remember now. I'm trying to. But he says he's like it seems like it's more of a psychological thing, but he says he's like traveling between times, like from the past to the future back, and it's kind of interesting, but it's not fresh in my mind enough to really go over it. I didn't like it that much. It was a pretty decent movie. I would say probably a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5 sort of thing. And then I have a couple like low budget movies that were actually really, I'm not going to say really good, but really, really interesting, and I definitely recommend them. First of all, a Dollar Tree movie called A Rough Draft, which is a Russian movie, and you can stream this, I think, through Amazon. However, I don't believe you can watch that in the original Russian language, and it's got like crappy dubs and stuff. This is a very interesting movie, and I could probably like do a whole video talking about the movie. It basically, this guy is wiped from the regular world. Everybody's memories, his parents don't even remember him anymore. And and then it goes into like these different worlds and stuff, and he has like they give him a very important job in these other worlds. He's like the gatekeeper of these other worlds, but they had to wipe everybody's memory from that original world. And it just goes off from there into some far out crazy stuff. I thought it was really interesting. It is 116 minutes, and it didn't go where I thought it was going to go, so it kind of threw me for a loop. But for a buck, definitely one that I recommend, A Rough Draft. It kind of went way out, but it was a pretty fun one. And then this movie Branded, which actually has some star power in it. Like I actually ended up watching this on Amazon Prime because I could watch like a HD version of it. And again, this is like, I believe the dialogue was in English, but it's like a Russian movie, or it's like set in Russia. But it's starring Max von Sydow, Jeffrey Tambor, Lily Sobieski, who I enjoyed in this. I believe the main character might be Ed Stoppard. I don't even know. But this just focuses on the title of the movie, Branded. There's a bug around me here. Branded, or advertising, and how they can totally basically mind control people. And there's like this table of people, and they work for the fast food chains. And then there's this Max von Sydow plays like he's a guy, but he's more, I think, more like an entity. And he says, the fast food numbers are going down and whatever. These heads of these fast food chains are saying, our business is going down. And he says, are you willing to do what it takes to... I can help you, but are you willing to do what it takes? Are you going to be agreeable to do what it takes? Which is basically mind control and screw everybody over. And then he just develops a plan. I think to me it's like more of an entity rather than just some old dude. And it's just, they just do it. And it's really totally what happens. And then the movie shows like these entities attached to these different corporations, which was like an interesting, and maybe there is some sort of entities feeding off of things in a way. I mean, it's not like literally in the movie what happens, but kind of metaphorically and literally in a way, there's some sort of like entities feeding off of things. Is this bug like biting me? What the heck? I don't think it was a mosquito. But I think this is a really important movie to see, actually, with how this stuff kind of works. And it's kind of like showing it in a really blatant way that people do need to see. But it's like, and in part of the movie, it's like they make it a good thing to be fat, because that's how they push their certain agendas. They just use psychology on people to push something, to get people to do whatever they want. And everybody does it. And then eventually, a few years down the road, everybody is fat now because of some of the psychology used against them through the marketing, advertising, and things like that. I mean, advertising really is basically mind control. You're learning how to mind control people. And this movie really demonstrates it in a good way. So if you want to watch this movie, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it through, you can stream it through Amazon Prime. And I think it's a really, it's an entertaining movie, but also an important movie to see kind of how psychologically people, masses, are controlled. And what's been going on over the last year and a half, all they got to really do, they got to advertise it. It's all a big advertising thing, really. If everybody's on board with it, including the doctors and scientists, they can just be a part of the advertising. How dare you? There's ethic. How you don't know any of these people talking on the TV? It's like, do you trust anybody that you just meet on the street? No. But do you trust people that are on the TV screen? Oh, well, they say that person's a doctor, so I just trust them. You have no idea the motivations of that person or the motivations of the people putting that person on. You don't know anything. Just like you see somebody out on the street that looks kind of creepy, and you're like, what is that person? That person starts approaching you. Or you just meet a person. Are you going to start divulging all of your biggest secrets to that person? You're just going to trust that? It's like people will just trust if that this is an important person. I just trust them. The TV says I can trust that person. It's all just a mind game, though. It's all just a mind F, baby. But I guess I've talked enough here. So we got about a 50-minute video. I hope you guys can watch the video and leave me some feedback. And it can be positive or negative feedback. Coffee. It can be positive or negative feedback, but I'm interested. I'm open to constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is giving feedback with the potential to point out or help that person. It's not, you're a poo-poo head. That's not constructive criticism. That's just being a jerk, putting somebody down. Excuse me, I'm drinking coffee. Don't judge me. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment that you made it all the way through the video. And I know who the true PMacMovies fans are. You guys are the best. You true PMacMovies fans are the best. I do appreciate it. But I'm going to go watch something. I got to cut the lawn today. I think we're going out to Rochester tomorrow. Maybe getting a haircut. I don't think there's anywhere to buy movies out there anymore. It's like, where am I going to Best Buy? Go to Best Buy to buy movies? I'm going to have to go into my savings. We'll see you guys next time on PMacMovies.